Duel Mains took down Quantum in our first match of the day. As we continue on, we'll see if they can do it again. Right now, they're going to take on Enable, the other team vying for a position in the Smite Console League. Relegation still continuing. My name's Tom, and that's Taco. And as I said, we're getting on with a Duel Mains versus Enable.
And both of these teams, this has really been their displaying moment, coming straight out of the challenger section of things. This is really your time to shine and show that you have what it takes to compete in the SCL.
Yeah, we want to see these guys really come out. So earlier in the day, if you missed match number 1, as we're going to pick some bans, Duel Mains tried something a little bit different. They brought out the Aphrodite middle lane, and it basically won them the game. Eribiiax, the mid laner, really sure he built the Lotus Crown second item. He knew what his role was. He said, look, I'm going to hook up to a Thanatos, I'm going to hook up to a Cernunnos, and they're going to do the heavy lifting. I'll just hang back and help them out.
Honestly, though, I want to see a little bit more out of the jungle gameplay from Duel Mains this go around, just because he mostly had that dependency of the Aphrodite. So if he messed up, you know you always have the Aphro to bail you out of those rough situations. But I don't think that they'll necessarily get to run the same kind of sustaining composition and get away with it this time, facing off against Enable.
We'll see what happens. Team Enable, they don't ban out the Afro or the Thanatos, which were the sustain options. So Duel Mains, first pick Afro, I don't know if that's going to be the case. But at the same time, Afro is such an oddball pick. It'll be the Susano first pick. I like that. Afro is an interesting pick because Team Enable, do they play an Afro? Who plays Afro?
Where do you really, also if it comes out first pick, like where does that go?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when you see a team already opt to run it in the mid lane. It might just go solo, it could even go jungle. I mean, we did just see a jungle Aphrodite not too long ago. Shout outs to Pernicus and the PC side
Listen,
of things.
the Chang'e one worked. The Afro, I don't think that one worked as much. But as we see the Susano, I mean, this guy is top crop for no. It's not a mystery. He's got a pull, he runs faster than you, he does more damage than you, he crowd controls better than you. He's just a force to be reckoned with at the moment. Cernunnos on the other side, selected next to a Fafnir. So that's going to take one of the options away that we saw Duel Mains have. They had the Cernunnos and the Thanatos together. So I do think that we need to see, if Duel Mains want to run the Afro, we need to see her right here before the second round of bans.
I would 100% agree with that. When you allow healers to have the possibility of getting banned out, especially when Enable has already seen success and annoyance from it, it wouldn't be too surprising, especially with that Khepri being locked in. That just screams we want a healer on our side, and so I wouldn't be surprised to see Enable just opt to try and take away not even necessarily the Aphrodite, but just any sort of sustained composition or early burst that could potentially go hand in hand with the Khepri.
Hades going to be banned out here. Relatively strong selection here in the mid lane, since that's what Duel Mains is sort of lacking. Medusa, of course, can flex in the mid or the support or the hunter role, so we'll see where she winds up. But at the end of the day, Team Enable, that's the Aphrodite. I think that's a very important ban. Duel Mains with this draft right here, I think they said, look, we can play more than just the Afro. We're not a gimmick team. But if you don't ban it here, we're going to pick it. So Enable banned it out. Now Duel Mains are happily going to show us what else they have in their arsenal. They banned out Bats and Cabrakan, two very important jungle selections, allowing Fenrir to be the choice for Team Enable.
This is a very strong composition by Team Enable as well. They have so much early game pressure alongside of the Isis and the Fenrir especially. That's such an old school combination that you can't ever really go wrong with.
All right, take away the Afro, we're going to go Hell. So one of the big things that Hell doesn't have in comparison to the Aphrodite is the fact that she doesn't have the ultimate. Afro, a big part of what made Afro very important for Duel Mains in set number 1 against Quantum was the fact that the Aphrodite was able to avoid or help her teammates avoid certain death by way of the Kraken. Well, I've got an Afro ult, no big deal. Hell is going to be able to provide that immunity, but she'll be able to heal multiple players, which should have an interesting effect on the battlefield.
But there's one guy that they might have forgotten about, and that is Odin, as he gets locked away on the side of Team Enable. And if I'm Enable, I'm feeling pretty good about this last pick selection.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice. Odin's going to lock down, drop the cage, reduce all healing to 0. That's not, we're going to bring 100% healing reduction. So healing items don't actually help you. It's all healing is gone inside that ring.
It's not even just the healing that I'm looking at. Duel Mains, who's getting out of that cage?
Yeah, that too.
No one is escaping from there unless Beast Beast gets the most godlike escape of all time with Susano, and then Stun Wave having to force out his ultimate. That's never an ideal situation for any team to find themselves in.
Not really. Sunwave looked really strong in the Osiris earlier. We get to see it banned out here, so now he's going to be on the Sun Wukong. And Beast Feast, well, early game hypermobile jungler Thanatos not the choice here. It's going to be early game hypermobile jungler choice of Susano instead.
And that's always a fun time for the jungles. I like this start by Duel Mains, though, opting to put the Khepri into the mid lane to help the Hell with the clear, knowing that she's facing off against an Isis and Fenrir.
Yeah, Isis, one of the...
Or actually, Fafnir, excuse me.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. Isis, one of the, if not the most clearing gods in the game. You think she's better than Zeus when it comes to clearing that mid wave?
Level 1, I would probably hand it to Isis simply because her wingers can target not only the wave, but you can also just spam a couple out there just for a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Plus, the Fafnir's got the hammer clear. It's just so easy.
Yeah. Level 1, definitely not Hell's game. But I think people underestimate just how strong of a mid-mage Hell actually is. Oh, that's a lot of burst onto Beast Feast, however. Pretty Flacco taking it back as well. Bluestone takes, not going to be enough, but Slap could be in some trouble. He's going to be able to jump away no problem. Well, actually, lots of problems, not no problem.
You're thinking about it. You can tell there's always that little bit of hesitation when the damage comes through, and you're like, maybe if I hit the next ability after, it's the first blood, but I like the discipline to not dive. I don't think that there was any chance of him diving, realistically, but you never really know what to expect from some of these players.
Saying there's a chance, right? Very early on, a little bit of aggressive plays coming out from Duel Mains. They're going to be able to pick up the Vision Harpies, the Oracles, the Bananas, left side gold guys. And about the 2-minute mark, Duel Mains kind of trailing a little bit, but I think that just has to do with their comp. As I said, Eribiiax on this healer, on this Hell, she is not like Afro. I think Afro specifically has the role of healer, supplemental god, team player, whereas Hell can absolutely just be a powerful mid-mage that happens to be able to heal.
I don't like dealing with Hells that deal damage, especially when you consider the fact that there might also be just this massive burst heal that comes out of nowhere. That's just never a fun time for anybody involved.
What's really fun is once Hell gets a couple of levels online, more importantly, a couple of items. She finishes the boots, maybe with just boots. You will be able to surprise the opposition a lot of times because Hell is an underrepresented god. You toss out the damage one, then you hit him with the repulse, the 3, the AoE, and then you immediately switch to light stance and you follow up with the healing magic missile that also deals damage. And all of a sudden, it's like an Uller, where you're not supposed to have that many abilities right now. What's going on? So Eribiiax can absolutely be a little bit more offensive than he was on the Aphrodite earlier before. Pretty Flacco getting offensive, grabbed up by the Khepri, and there's going to be the launch of the Typhoon. Xiao still in trouble, but Pretty Flacco, the first of all, and guess who it is? It's Eribiiax, the Hell, with the double.
He had the double snipes as well. First in the healing stance, then in the dart. And that's all that you need because that healing stance still does damage.
I'm telling you, that this character is underrepresented. She is not just a healer. She is absolutely a character that can just be an annoying mid-mage. A lot of power, a lot of damage, going into the cooldown boots, so she knows that her role on this team is going to be that of a healer, but at the same time, we just saw her start the game with a double kill.
That is such a scary start as well for a team being able to try and deal with, because not only is the composition with the less amount of early game ahead of you pretty substantially at that, because a Hell with 2 kills in front of an Isis, that's massive.
Ult for ult, Hunter versus Hunter. Motion's in trouble, needs the motions to avoid the basics, but he can't. And there's no compromise here. 1 kill for the Hunter as he gets the better of CRYSIS Motions.
It's just a boxing matchup that you never really want to take up early as a Medusa, because Medusa has so much early aggression, but against a Kern, so much of it is negated because of the AoE provided by his 2, as well as the ticking of a possibility for the root. Plus his ultimate is just better. His ult, it just really, it negates a lot of what Medusa is aiming to do as far as follow-up is concerned.
And right there was just a little bit, I didn't like the decision of when she decided to fight, right? If she took that fight a little bit earlier, I don't hate it, actually. You're pretty even with the enemy. In fact, you know, at that time they were dead even. I didn't really mind it. But as soon as you got hit with the Wild Hunt, you got to leave. You got to be out. And unfortunately, CRYSIS Motions did not get that memo. Stuck in lane, stuck in the fight, more importantly, and winds up on the tail end of that, now trailing by about half a level.
Yeah.
to Team Enable's No Compromise.
Plus the creep wave. He had a full creep wave right in front of him, and that's
too.
just always so much damage from the archers as a hunter.
Like I said, timing. It's not the fact that Medusa can't fight Cernunnos, it's that Medusa can't fight Cernunnos with 6 of his boys with him. I mean, that's the problem. Minions do a lot of damage. Heads up play by Eribiiax. Don't forget, that second ability coming out from the Hell, able to cleanse the CC if used preemptively.
Where did his health go?
God.
He's already half health.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Taco. I have, since Hell got changed.
I've had to deal with so much Wolfie 2032
I was just gonna
spam.
say.
I literally ban this character whenever Wolfie is in queue just because it's the most annoying thing in the world to deal with.
You are one of the worst people.
No, I'm one of the smartest people when it comes to... I like my TP, Tom.
Beast trying to earn some Pro League TP for himself. Gets the grab on a Fafnir. And there's the transformation. The turnaround! No compromise! He gives him no quarter. Take down the jungler. There's the ultimate out of Cernunnos. He's going to get grabbed, and Khepri saves the life of his hunter. It's a 1v3, and Compromise ain't turning around. Here comes the rotation out of the Isis. Big wing gust going to hit Eribiiax 3 times, and Bradley once. And it's just enough to send Pretty Flacco around the backside. Looking for the flank, comes the dog over the top. No stun, here's the bite, but it will be immune. Fantastic play. Oh, out of this world.
He needed the jump stun. If anything,
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if he had the runes available for the jump stun at all, but that was the ideal situation for the Hell to pull off the cleanse.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful play. Team Enable go ahead, and they were able to pick up the Gold Fury because of that, now leading by about an even 1,000.
And I think that for Duel Mains, that was such a rough engagement. They just really were not expecting the damage out of the Kern so early on. But once you get into melee range of that Kern, No Compromise is just having free reign with that bonus damage because of his passive.
Yeah, it's so scary. The fact is, I feel like that's a...
He's zooming.
What is that?
He's just zooming. It's the race car ward, I believe.
Oh, I did not know what was happening.
It actually happened to me not too long ago where I thought that my game was just going crazy, but it turns out that it was just like the race car ward.
I'm dead. I'm so serious. I did not even know that was a thing. I was concerned. Anyway, my point being... I'm sorry, folks. Oh, I'm sorry. Here comes Slap jumping on in. That really caught me. So 2-2 here at 8 minutes in. Team Enable up by 1,000 gold after they pick up the, or 700 after they pick up the Gold Fury after the gank coming out. That wasn't so successful, but Motion's now getting the better of No Compromise, but again, in the middle of a creep wave.
You're just never going to have a fun time trying to find the boxing upper hand when you have to consider that the creeps are involved every single time. Compromise didn't even feel the need to use his beads there because he knew he was so safe within his creep wave. Yeah,
just very, that's calculated, and excuse me, Motions keeps winding up in this spot, so it's by design. Beast is gonna get caught out, down to about half HP, but the Hell's able to heal him up, no problem. That Inspire really coming through. So that's one of the changes. Hell used to give you this giant burst heal, which was almost impossible to deal with. Now it turns into a heal over time. It's a hot with that Inspire. It's the burst heal that comes out of the first ability that's really problematic, but you gotta aim that one, so it's not so bad.
Not so bad, but what could be potentially really bad for Duel Mains is No Compromise if they don't deal with this Kern sooner than later. I want to see Beast placing a little bit more emphasis onto that dual lane side because we already saw what No Compromise can do in a counter-engaged scenario. So can you imagine when he has his team to back him up and not just a creep wave?
And here it is. It's all about conditioning your opponent. Team Enable's No Compromise is totally conditioned to fight Motions on his own tower. If I'm a jungler, I'm noticing that heads up, and I'm there 100% of the time. Khepri gets picked up by the big woof. Trouble for him in the mid lane, as the ultimate on Isis is going to get popped as well. Wait, there's the Khepri, and no follow-up. Not going to be a kill for Team Enable. The Khepri ultimate, good enough. Stun wave flanking from the right-hand side. Going to be immune is the CC on the LingXiaoWho, but Beast puts him down anyway. Isis takes one down. Here comes the rotation out of the Medusa. Ultimate not on the money. Coming up broke is the Hunter. Fafnir able to immune it out thanks to the dash, but Eribiiax takes down No Compromise. Really big play right there. He's been the focal point for Team Enable up until this point. Duel Mains finally shuts him down and allows the Hunter motions to get a little bit closer.
Way too much emphasis placed into that Khepri, especially when he's so far underneath he's on the T1 tower line and it's a Khepri. You don't want to expend a Fenrir ultimate, especially when you know you have to wait because the Hell Cleanse was on point. Shoutouts to Eribiiax on this Hell, who's been doing a phenomenal job cleansing his teammates.
The cleanse is out of control. When you play a Hell, anybody can heal with the Inspire, right? You press the third ability and then bam, everybody gets healed up. Now you got to aim the first one. Okay, fine. But when you come through with the cleanse, we saw Fenrir ultimate negated because of his second ability. That's a lot of fun to watch. I thought about saying incleansable, but I wasn't gonna go that far. That's aggro. I'll leave that one for him.
That's unforgivable. According to I don't think aggro would be too happy about that one, but I know that Duel Mains are pretty happy with this. They don't have a lead, but it's not necessarily what they need.
Look at this
the Hell is a
damage.
lead, and look at that.
Bam! Eribiiax making it happen. Just a beautiful. See, that's what I'm saying. People be just not understanding how much damage that comes out of, well, the towers. Beast Feast almost dies to the tower right there. But I think the amount of damage that Hell can output with the stance is just it's just misunderstood. It's so much damage, 1-3-1, and then you just get deleted. Big heads up play by Bradley there, however, to grab that, to get the root over the wall and get the grab, allowing Eribiiax to actually make that play.
This Hell is completely decimating LingXiaoWho on the Isis, just not providing any opportunity for him to breathe. And now Beast Feast about to get the 1v1 kill onto Pretty Flacco?
Yeah, Pretty Boy Flacco got to get out of here. I don't know if that was the right move to bring the jungler with him, but apparently that's what he wanted to do. There he is, safe and sound, so good play for the Fenrir jungler. 0-1-0 so far, but meanwhile, Eribiiax, 12 minutes and 20 seconds, just casually stomping down the tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
Well, he knows that he's going to be able to find the hill later on, and plus, Pretty Flacco was forced out. He had to back to base, and it forced Switch to make the rotation as Fafnir, so he's just got free farm in that mid lane all day long.
Easy peasy, I believe is the technical term.
Well, I mean, more like rough stuff for Team Enable if you really want to go toe-to-toe with terms, but every single lane is just succumbing to so much pressure on the side of Duel Mains, and you would think that it'd be Team Enable turning the tides, but it's actually the other way around.
Gold's Fury is going to go the other way around. Duel Mains snatches it under the nose of Team Enable. 2 kills for the blue squad so far. Scratch that, 1 for 1. As Beast is able to take down motions. Eribiiax in some trouble, but dealing it just as well. Heals up after she deals it out. And here's No Compromise one more time. Surrounded by Duel Mains players. And again, Eribiiax coming through in the clutch, helping his teammates, doing the dirty work himself when it needs to be. He is looking like a fantastic mid laner on this Hell. You like the slow animal?
I absolutely love the Tiger Stun commitment. When you're slow to that extent and then you're still just like, I need this.
No, you gotta hit it. And look, Sunwave might even give his life for it, but sometimes it's about sending a message, Taco.
Asserting your dominance, I understand entirely. But asserting dominance is definitely what Duel Mains is doing as well. Picking up that Gold Fury is going to be massive, considering not only the swing that they were able to garner from it, but they just also have the general map pressure advantage.
Yeah, that's a large part of what allowed Duel Mains to go ahead and find their win against Quantum earlier in the day. They really just didn't let the foot off the gas, and you were kind of worried about, all right, you know, Aphrodite, is she going to be able to get off the ground? Well, Afro started with a kill, and then, well, Hell, we'll see if she gets off the ground. Hell started with a double kill. So everything's been coming up Millhouse for the guys on Duel Mains, despite their heal-centric selection, even with the Odin across the way.
And having the cooldown, I think the cooldown boots on top of the starter that provides so much CDR early on, it's just been such a nuisance for Team Enable to try and deal with, because it's mostly just been the cleanses for me
Yeah.
that have fallen through for this hell. And the fact that he's been able to negate so much of that early game pressure by Fenrir, that's crucial.
Here's trouble for the jungler by himself, but Motions picks up LingXiaoWho right on the left-hand side. No Compromise answers back by taking out the Beast Feast, but the damage has been done. Duel Mains pick up the target on the right side, which is going to be the Portal Demon, netting them some team gold and experience as well. 10-4. Nice and early, just 15 in, and Duel Mains find themselves in even 5,000 above the opposition.
And I would say that that definitely favors Duel Mains every single time, just because they're
going.
already the team in the lead.
He's going for it.
Oh my, is he gonna find the 2v1?
Yes, he is. He's gonna at least find the one. Stun wave out of control. They banned out his Osiris. He still has it on the other selection. Eribiiax from a distance gets him, put him down. No Compromise, falls down. It's gonna be the 6th kill for the mid lane healer. Eribiiax on the hell.
This guy's nuts. Like, I just would not want to deal with him on any sort of sustain god.
This is the hell play that I've been waiting to see. We haven't seen any Smite Pro League players on the PC side of things, and we simply will not talk about Shalibur's hell that we saw recently.
What about Checo?
Yes, Michael Checo, sure, I want to see the outquark. But this mid lane hell out of Eribiiax, this is the power of the character. I love what he's doing. Yes, you're right. Some simple itemization can shut down a lot of the healing. You're going to see 9,300 in just 16 minutes of play is a fair amount. But he's bringing so much more. He's also top damage, Taco. That's what I'm talking about. It's so much more than a healer. It's a mid-mage that can also heal. And that's what's scary about Hell to me. Just nobody been playing her.
His rotations have been absolutely on point, but I think a lot of this is also credited to the fact that his team picked around the hell.
Oh, of course.
When you have the safety net of a Khepri on your side, as well as the Susano setup, and then the Sun Wukong to just be in their faces and provide that presence for you so you can free cast from the back line, that's exactly what you need in order to make a god like hell work in the mid lane. And that's exactly what's been the story here for Duel Mains.
Yeah, so not only is it the commitment to hell of just being a strong mage in general, but it's also, like you said, the composition around it, and the fact that Duel Mains were able to get off the ground a little bit quicker than Team Enable. Normally, when you see this hell selection, you're going to see Slap and Pretty Flacco just jump on her on cooldown. But here's the problem. Slap has been preoccupied because Stun Wave is just running the show on the right-hand side. And that is one of the luxuries of having a strong solo laner, and why even in a meta where your solo lane might not be the most dominant person on the map, it's still very important to have a strong solo, because look, gone are the years where Xayah picks Bakasura solo and just wins the game. But Stun Wave is helping his team by simply not letting Slap be part of the conversation.
It's not even about Slap being part of the conversation. It's that I don't think anybody on the side of Team Enable has been able to be a part of the conversation other than No Compromise. And when he tried to butt in, he got absolutely destroyed for it.
Yeah, he's down with the 1v1. But when it comes to the team fight, well, let's just watch it. Spirit Ball's gonna miss, and there's trouble on the back line for Team Enable. Duel Mains going way back, but Beast Feast on a tear. Pretty Boy Flacco stuck in the fountain. There's gonna be trouble for No Compromise. Eribiiax can't find it, but Stun Wave can. That's one down on the side of Team Enable. Help from the Khepri player, and that's gonna allow Beast Feast to stay alive one more time. He's really low, he should back to base. Oh wait, his top damage mid lane hell is also a healer. Here comes the sustain, down goes the Phoenix, and Duel Mains got what they came for, picked up the entirety of the left lane, tier 1, tier 2, and the Phoenix, and they're gonna go ahead and retreat and pick up the gold on their way home.
It's like anti-chunking of their health bars, where he's just giving them chunks of health instead of taking it away. And it's absolutely insane. This entire team, full health. Yeah,
they were 10% at the Phoenix. Beast Feast was one hit away. And yes, he's got a bum his mask, so he's had some help from those jungle camps that they went ahead and cleansed out. But Eribiiax, just out of control. When you're top damage and top healing, that's something special. And, you know, I think that's a testament to this character. I want to see more players play this character, and I think that this character can be very strong in today's meta, where, one, you're rarely alone, specifically in the mid lane, and that solo lane can be isolated if you play it correctly, and that's what Stunway's been doing.
I think the real downfall here for Team Enable was just that rough start that they had because of the fact that Pretty Flanco was actually one of the first deaths as well in that double kill scenario. It just put the ISIS Fenrir combination entirely too far behind, and once you fall behind with a composition that's drafted primarily for that early game pressure, there's really not much that you can do.
So this Hell selection, I keep harping on it because I think that she's underrepresented. I want more people to pick it. Am I a little crazy? Is there a reason that Hell is not selected as much?
It's the risk factor. That's really all that is involved with her. She is very low health, very easy to punish early on, especially when you pick pressure like Fenrir and ISIS, but they just haven't been able to find it for Team Enable. But that's not the story for Duel Mains, is they're about to find the team fight and the Phoenix.
ISIS ultimate inside the Odin ring. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Duel Mains on a tear here. 15,000 gold or so in the lead. Titan is going to be the next target. Brought down about 50% and then healed back up. Duel Mains reel it back. Focus on the Phoenix on the back line. Here comes initiation out of Team Enable. Pretty Boy Flacco shows up and gets smoked out. No compromise. Now he's in trouble. CRYSIS Motions picks up the kill on that one. Just 20 minutes of play, Taco. And Duel Mains come out absolutely swinging. The Titan's going to fall down right about now. 17-4. And Duel Mains topple the opposition by a fantastic amount.
That's about what I expected to happen to a level 14 Fenrir stepping up to not only level 17s and 19s, but just when you're that far behind, there's literally nothing you can do.
Yeah, I focused on it a lot. One, because she was really cool to see, and two, because she was just crushing it. Hell in the mid lane for Eribiiax, his second game of the day and his second healer. Is also going to look pretty good here. This was how we started things off. One with the heal, and then one with the dark side. Love it. Light side, dark side coming together. Eribiiax making it happen.
It doesn't matter which side it was. It just turned to be the worst side for Enable as Duel Mains just completely dominated this matchup all the way around. You can tell this is a team that is definitely prepared for whatever opposition that they're going to be facing off against today.
Yeah, I think this was, and again, do you see Stun Wave at the top? The kills that are happening on the solo side of the map allow Eribiiax to do this, and that is Hell.
That was beautiful gameplay.
That's what she does. She hits you, like I said, with the repulse, and then the light side, dark side, one combos just come out, and you sit there and you go, you're a healer. Why are you doing so much damage? And this was Enable's counter initiation that almost worked.
I mean, there's a lot of times where almost has been the story for a lot of these teams, but at the very least, it is Duel Mains that is going to be securing the victory, and I mean, excellent job by them.
Yeah, it looks like they absolutely did earn that. By no mistake of the imagination. Kaz versus Duel Mains is coming up next. We'll see if Kaz can pick up where Quantum fell short. Duel Mains, is there another healer? We'll see.